Hello, this is Spellbinder. I'm giving a news report here from the Norfolk Examiner. This one's it's a good little story. It is Deborah Dupree, I guess Dupre, French. Let's see, Michigan oil tragedy of historic proportions, military leap. And this is how the story goes on this. Michigan's Kalamazoo River oil spill, believed to be over 1 million gallons, is possibly leading the nation towards both tragedy and dictatorship, with military powers of historic proportions under Obama's national emergency, he declared, now with the American troops posed for urban duty and Canadian troops on 72-hour standby. The latest spill is possibly a military leap, not for mankind, but for the new world order that it serves. Why delayed response? Michigan Governor Jennifer Granholm is sharply criticizing efforts to contain the spill and warning of a tragedy of historic proportions if the oil reaches Lake Michigan, only some 80 miles downstream, according to an AP. The oil is almost halfway there. Detroit News. The United States remains under a national emergency that President Obama declared after the government manipulated the H1N1 swine flu pandemic data, as Dr. McCullough and NVIC's Barbara Lowe Fisher alerted Americans. At any moment under today's national emergency, President Obama could dismiss certain regulations and much more, such quarantine large numbers of people. See Ron Paul's address to Americans. National emergency increases presidential powers. Deborah Dupree, Examiner, October 29, 2009. U.S. combat troops were stationed on U.S. soil to assist with civilian vaccinations since the Gulf oil and co-exit poison operation began. The stated reason for U.S. troops' active duty buildup in the Deep South and Costa Rica is to address drug trafficking, another war that can't be won, is what I call it, because that's there to control people. Oil gushing from the underground pipeline connecting the U.S. to Canada poses a new emergency health threat, one involving all life in the area, including human. It increases the probability that presidential powers under the national emergency will be used. Warning issues to Kalamazoo and surrounding area residents are that this oil is highly toxic, with benzene, a carcinogen, and to stay away from the water. The fumes are strong apparently and not even try to help wildlife, according to the Kalamazoo resident Dr. Joetta Carr. Workers on the scene are very tight-lipped, according to the Examiner's reliable source there. Time will soon tell whether the Michigan oil spill is yet another step towards U.S.-backed aim of New World Order through the Defense Department's full-spectrum dominance. And it was done today, July 29th. Well, yesterday. And the full-spectrum dominance is an interesting story in itself. They're taking control of the coast down there in the Gulf and of the Mississippi River. They're taking control of land, sea, and air over the situation, and that's what the full dominance is about. And I will show you that here. Right here. Gassed in the Gulf, Part 2, toward full spectrum dominance. Regardless of presidential other statements about holding accountable these responsible for the latest oil assault on humanity, the U.S. military objective in the Gulf for its ultimate goal of full spectrum dominance has been achieved. Gulf Coast residents in the world can't wait, calling a Gulf emergency summit for citizens to take charge of the Gulf crisis face U.S. military and BP's hired private army mercenaries, similar to during Katrina's aftermath. The military now controls one of the nation's most important ports, its most inland port, Baton Rouge, and the nation's largest river, the mighty Mississippi. These are primary resources required in the Pentagon's quest for total control of land, sea, and air superiority. On June 2nd, 2000, Defense News reported that full-spectrum dominance is a key term in the joint version or vision of 2020, the blueprint DoD will follow in the future, that the innovation has always been a hallmark of the American military. In 2020, this Native American talent will be even more important. For those who dare look at the Gulf operation, has been a demonstration of such innovation. Deepwater Unified Command Gulf Operation. In the quest for the Gulf of Mexico and the U.S. military innovation enabling it to seize control of Haiti within hours of its earthquake, then the entire Gulf after the spill, and now in secret maneuvers will soon include more U.S. coastal land and the inhabitants, according to the Masterson's report. Gassed in the Gulf Part 2, the petrochemical military industrial complex includes BP security firm Wickenhut, hired as a private army to help control the people of the Gulf region, hide Gulf atrocities, and control the region through the Deepwater Horizon Unified Command military operation. Jeremy Scahill reports that Naomi Klein, author of The Shock Doctrine, The Rise of Disaster Capitalism, and her husband Avi Lewis host a Al Jazeera English popular program, Fault Lines, describes a run-in with Wickenhut, hired for perimeter security for the Deepwater Horizon Command. Jeremy Scahill, BP and U.S. Government Command Center, guarded by company from Afghan embassy hazing scandal. A foreign company, British Petroleum, and U.S. government agencies, including the U.S. Coast Guard, Department of Defense, Department of State, and the Department of Homeland Security, are running Deepwater Unified Command, according to Scahill. Wayne Madison report that 36 urban areas of the Gulf of Mexico are expected to be confronted with a major disaster from the oil volcano, and the emergency plans are being made for cities and towns from Corpus Christi, Texas, to Houston's New Orleans, Gulfport, Mobile, Pensacola, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, and Saratoga, Bradenton, Naples, and Key West. Citing sources within the U.S. Corps of Engineers and FEMA and Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Madison insists that the Obama White House and the British Petroleum are covering up the magnitude of the volcanic level of the oil disaster in the Gulf of Mexico and working together to limit BP's liability for damages caused by what can be called a mega disaster. Florida is preparing to evacuate, with FEMA taking the lead. For this operation to succeed, the mainstream media must participate in a PR campaign, propaganda, since most Americans still believe and even center their lives around the TVs. An example of mainstream news propaganda presents was a report of BP containing one of its leaks. Madison stated it was pure public relations disinformation designed to avoid panic and demands for greater action by the Obama administration, according to FEMA and the Corps of Engineer sources. The Gulf military operation, LIHOP and MIHOP, or MIHOP, LIHOP and MIHOP, interesting. A spill reflects an accident. BP reported spill. Actually, an underwater oil volcano was either a LIHOP, a let it happen on purpose, or a MIHOP, a make it happen on purpose. Both are false flag operations to further justify military control on U.S. soil, an already existing coup that has begun during the Bush administration in October of 2008, when U.S. troops were deployed for duty on U.S. soil. You never want a serious crisis to go to a waste. Remember that. Never let a crisis go to waste. And what I mean is by the opportunity to do things you think you could not do before. Says Ryan Emiel. David Rockefeller has said, all we need is a right major crisis and the nations will accept a new world order. So you can read the rest of this article. I'll have both of them posted on my website, and you can see that they're creating a pandemic of fear across the country. And if you follow with the mainstream media, then you're going to be hoodwinked into believing that all this stuff is going to destroy us all and we all got to give up our rights. So until next time, I'm going to leave it here. You people read these articles, take heed to what they say, and be prepared. We're being attacked by our own government. They don't trust us, and you should never trust them. And I'm going to leave it here for now. Be good at it. This is Spellbinder with this news update. Good day.